Okay. Because that was Michael Wynn showed me that. He said, "Oh yeah, you can allow people to record. That way you don't have to send out a recording; they already have it." I'm like, "Oh, time saver." Okay. All right, all right. So let me tell you a little bit how I met Arel. It was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. How old is Talkadot?
Talking about 3 years old. 3 years
Okay,
old.
so
Yeah.
when it first started, when
Yeah.
it first started,
Yeah.
and he did a presentation for the very first Speak Sell Shine cohort, the second
Mhm.
one, and now the third one. But what Arel doesn't tell you is that this thing has blown up. How many members do you have so far?
We have about 12,000 speakers using it now. Yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is just 3 years ago.
Mm.
But it doesn't just stay where it is, where he started. So the very first year he showed me what it was good. Second year, it was really, really good. He made more improvements, technology is. And then, hey there, Melody. And then now this year is more improvements. And this is what I don't even know because it's changing so much. Because 2 years ago, you didn't have the AI really built into it as much. You had a little bit
Mhm.
of AI, everything was AI, but not as much. So
Mhm.
this year is something brand new that has really taken it over the top.
Mhm.
So that's what I want him to explain who he is, where he started speaking. He was a youth speaker and basically flipped and became like a technology founder, I guess you would
Mhm.
say. That's what he is
Yeah.
now. He's a co-founder with
Mhm.
the another person that is with him on this as well. So I'm gonna let you take it away. We've got a
Yeah.
few people that have joined us, so they'll catch up. That's all I got to say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Pam. I'm excited to share this because what I think the unique perspective that I can bring to the speaking industry is this. I have been a professional speaker for 19 years now. So full time, almost 20 years, still speaking. I love it. I will do it for as long as I can do speaking for. In addition to being a speaker, I also ran a lot of events where I hired speakers. So I had a mastermind group and we would hire content experts. We also hired celebrities like the Damon Johns and Mario Lopez's of the world as well. So I was on the side of the fence where I hired speakers and knew what I was looking for when I was hiring. Now, what we're doing with Talkadot, and we're getting it into kind of what Talkadot is, but where it is now is we're actually using the data, the feedback, the testimonials that speakers like yourselves are getting to match them to speaking engagements. So now we're kind of playing the intermediary between the speakers and the event planners. So I have a very, very unique perspective from basically all sides of the equations. So my goal with you today is kind of to share why we built Talk About the way that we built it, and then to give you some really, really specific actionable steps all of you can take that I think will um, stop you for what I lovingly call running east to see a sunset. There are a lot of speakers that are working really, really, really hard. They're just running in the wrong direction, So, it's not for lack of effort, it's not for lack of credibility, it's not for lack of trying, but run as much as you want to the east. You're not going to catch a sunset. It's just not going to happen. So sometimes it's not about changing what you're doing, it's just changing how you're doing what you're doing, and you'll see some impact. So let's go into why Talk It Out was created, and then we'll get into kind of the fun stuff. So Talk It Out was created because there is one truth that I know about us as speakers. If you are not part of what I'm about to say, congratulations, you are the minority of the minority. But what I'm about to say, I find to be true for 99.9% of us, which is in our perfect worlds, we don't want to do all of the other stuff. We just want to speak. In an ideal world, if you could just get on stage, speak, get off stage, and people go, "Oh Lord, here's more business." And you go, "Thank you for said business. I shall receive said business." And then go speak. If that's where you were, that would be your genius zone because we are often high on the artist, right? We're high on the content, the life-changing information, the storytelling, the how to prevent challenges and problems. It's all the other stuff that, it's very hard to have a mind that does art and business at a high level. Now we do the business because I've always seen it as I've got to do it so I can do more of what I love, right? So I'm willing to as I lovingly say, eat turd pies. I will eat as many turd pies as I need to so that I can do the things that I love. So that was the premise of Talk It Out. So what are the things, and I know that Dr. Perry teaches you all of these things, right? But number one is social proof. No one ever wants to be the first person on the dance floor, right? Like if you go to a club or a party, you know what party's bumping? When you come in, everybody's already in the middle of having a good time, and you kind of just join the party and like, oh, you just kind of go in. So the reason why that's such an important concept is that the more and more you can de-risk the decision maker's ability to choose you, the better. And this is the key. Everything is about de-risking. I, as the event planner, have to feel like if I bring you in, I'm not going to have anything terrible happen, because here's what is true for the event planner that speakers don't understand. If I bring in a bad speaker, one bad speaker, one, my audience members are going to be like, who greenlit this? This is the beginning of the end. This organization doesn't know how to book speakers. They don't know how to create content for us. Is this worth my time? I paid my time and energy to be a part of this organization, to come to this event for this. It's actually extremely detrimental. So everything is CYA, cover your assets, right? So event
Okay.
planners don't want to take any risk whatsoever. So when speakers say things like, "Oh, just trust me, I'm going to do a good job," what I throw back at speakers is this scenario. Now, quick question by show of hands, how many people here are parents?
What?
Parents, like you have your own. How many people have small children at some point that they love in their life, right? All nieces, nephews, like. So I want you to imagine you needed to leave town for a week, and you needed to leave your kids in the care of someone else. Who are you going to go? Are you going to let a stranger go? I know you don't know me. I know I don't have a web presence. I know I don't have any testimonials, but just trust me, I'll take care of your kids. It's never going to happen. So what you do if you needed someone to take care of your kids is the same thing event planners have done historically, which is the first thing you do is you look for people you already know. Family members, dear friends, who are people I know, I trust, I like, I believe they'll do a good job. So that's why event planners will always like prefer speakers they've seen, or if they've not seen the speaker, it's going to be, okay, I need someone, and then a trusted friend goes, "Oh, you need a speaker on leadership? You got to go with Susan. She's amazing. Trust me." Now, if I value that person, I will trust them. So the same way if I said, "Oh, I use this babysitter, they were amazing," I'm going to feel more confident using them. If I can't find someone that way, well, the next thing I'm going to do is go into like a web service like care.com, right? And I'm going to search for a caregiver. I'm not going to just choose someone who doesn't have a picture on their profile, right? Would you choose someone to care for your kids who didn't have a picture on their profile? No. Would you choose someone that has no reviews, no feedback, no data, no nothing? So no, you want to find the person with like 75,000 five-star reviews for an overabundance of, if I have to put my kids in care. And then you're going to want to see, has this person worked with families like mine, families that I might know? So if you think of an event planner deciding to choose you in the same way a parent would choose a caregiver for their child, you'll start having a different way that you look at all of your web resources, your photos. So, for example, if you've got a headshot that you've taken on your cell phone and you charging $10,000 for a speaking engagement, the audio don't match the video. It don't match, right? So what's going to happen immediately is, as an event planner, I'm going to have what's called a friction point. The more friction points I get, the closer I get to know. So then what speakers typically tell me is, well, if they just got on the phone with me, no, they don't have time to jump on the phone with 17 people and hope that one of them, no, they want to know before they get on the phone with them, or even before they fill out, really don't fill out they don't jump on the phone, they fill out forms on your website. That's typically like the entry point. There's some form that gets filled out. So I say all this to say, there are super fundamental basics that we have to have as speakers. The first is social proof. The next things are going to be really basic, like video. If you don't have video of yourself speaking, one of the hardest assets for speakers to obtain is video, because they're either speaking at events that are like, this doesn't deserve to be on video. Like we all have spoken at those events, right? Like on video, I'm in a cafeteria, there's kids running in the background. This isn't going to be the best video, right? or we don't want to spend, 500 bucks for a videographer to come out to our event because we're like, ooh, that's cutting into my profit margins. So some simple ways to get video is going to be asking your client as part of your contract. Hey, I'd love to speak. Can you provide a video? Because typically, especially in the beginning, you discount your prices because you're just trying to get reps. And I'm a big advocate, and I'm sure lots of people would disagree with me on this one. I'm a huge advocate. Do as many events as you possibly can in the beginning, even if it's for free. Do as many as you possibly can, because what you are looking for are people to come up to you afterwards and say this magical question. And until you get this magical question often, there's work to be done. And that magical question is, I'd love to bring you in to speak, but I don't know if we can afford you. How much does
Mm,
it cost?
that's a
That,
good magical question.
that's what you need people to say. Because if people are just coming up to you and going, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Good job. You changed my life. I call those
Flattery.
yeah, no, like I use different terminology, but I'll use more respectful term. It's like a humanitarian award. It's like people will be kind, and again, you may have impacted their lives, but you want people to be so moved by what you're doing that they just assume they can't afford you, but they're so moved they want to at least see if there's hope. So you want to do as many free events, even if you're at the center, the Chamber of Commerce or the Kiwanis Club, or you just want people to be like, oh my gosh, getting you would be an honor for us, not me selling you would be an honor. Like, so, and you can't get that without reps. And it doesn't matter how great your CV is, it doesn't matter how great your background is. It's a matter of what you're delivering on stage, how you're packaging it, and how am I getting it. Okay. So
Mhm.
video, super important. I just want to
They
say
do
that.
have video, so they have good video and they have good interviews. So
Perfect.
that's it.
Wonderful.
That's
Very
it.
important. Because so
Yeah.
many speakers, they got, well, I got some good photos. I'm like, we're not selling still photography. We're selling you on stage, right? Like you got good video. So just want
That's
to
it.
emphasize that. So
Hmm.
now,
That's true. That's true.
so now number one, you need social proof. The second thing you need is leads. Now, ultimately, what I have found is that the number one way, and I've found no one who can disagree with what I'm about to say. And if anyone disagrees with me, feel free to. So far, I haven't found anyone disagrees with me. The number one source for new business are people in your audience who come up to you and say, I want to book you.
Yep.
It is super in terms of most guaranteed to go from interest to client. It's the best. Now people can find you online and people can be referred to, and I think all of those are valuable when it comes to someone in my audience because they've seen the product, right? They've seen exactly. There's no question about how I present or what I do. Now it's just a matter of can we align and get booked in that kind of stuff, right? However, what I found is that speakers, me included, we hate the sale after the talk, right? Now, if anyone's ever come up to you and said, oh my gosh, that was amazing, I'd love to book you to speak, how much do you charge? Nobody wants
Woo.
that question.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it because you've been in serve, 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 serve mode. Now you're like, oh, but what if I say a price and it's too high? What if I say a price and it's too low? What, like, should I say like, oh, well, let me grab your card and I'll get. It actually creates this like uncomfortable dynamic between you and your audience member because either like you're busy, there's a line, and all of you have experienced that line of people waiting to talk to you and someone rushes up to you and you're like, I want to give you attention, but also like, so it's a very uncomfortable thing. So what if we could remove getting testimonials, getting that social proof, and then getting the leads from the audience? And that was the birth of Talk It Up because I found it very difficult, even to ask for testimonials. By the way, I found that to be very difficult because number one, when you ask for a testimonial, has anyone ever had this experience where you're at your event and then someone in the audience goes, "Oh my gosh, Maxine, you changed my life," and then you go, "Oh, real quick, real quick,
Put
could
this
you
on
say that
video.
one more time on camera for me, please?" And you're like, and it feels weird, right? It just feels a little, it feels a little dirty, if I'm being honest with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
It
it is.
just it just feels a little like ugh, like we're having a private moment, but then I'm like making it public, and it's kind of weird. So I found that I should be getting testimonials, but I didn't. So then I was like, okay, I had hired people to come on to my events with me with cameras, and their job was to get video testimonials, and that's an expense and it's very costly. And you're like, but I need that, but I don't. So long story short, we said, well, what if there was a way to grab really good testimonials and really good data from every talk that you gave?
Yeah.
What if there was a way to grab leads from the audience without me having to be the salesperson? Like it was like I had a business manager with me, and it would all be done in a way that the client would actually appreciate and want. So it would solve the problem of social proof. It would solve the problem of getting leads. So that's how the idea of Talk and I came about, because we were like, well, what if we could actually, create something that actually achieved this kind of big crazy goal. So I got with my co-founders and we started asking ourselves like, well, what could we do? What could we create? And this is what we created. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what the current flow looks like. And then I want to show you what we're doing now, which is really exciting with it. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Um,
I want to say this real quick too,
yeah, please, please.
Arel. When one of the things that you said, and I remember this, is that when you give a really, really good talk, people would line up to ask you questions, but the line would be so long that some
Mhm.
people that could have been the people that want to hire you didn't want to stand in that fan line, and they would just leave. So you wouldn't get their information. They kind
A
of,
hundred
kind of,
percent.
yeah, that was always like, no one wants to
No,
stand
because
in
there's
the
so
line.
many, and again, the more you and Pam, so I'm so glad you brought that up because there's so many dynamics of a post event, right? So, for
Mhm.
example, you get a big line of people, like Pam just said. Well, if I could book you, I'm probably an executive, I'm probably a CEO. Do I really want to stand in a long line? I'm probably going to check my phone and then get distracted. Or if you're at a
Yep.
conference, well, what usually happens after a keynote? Well, there's a break and then workshops. So then people move over to the workshop. So they don't have time to go up to if they wanted to go up to you. And then they're like, oh, I'll get you later. And then they leave and they go, what's Maxine's last name? Was it Brian? What was it?
Mhm.
And then they're gone. And then you'll never see them again, and expecting them to find you and research you,
No.
it doesn't happen. So what we did is we created this simple slide. It's got a QR code that has a feedback. So it's a questions that people can answer. It takes about 2 minutes or so. And then as a thank you for the audience giving you feedback, you then can give them access to a PDF, a video, copy of your slide deck, some kind of bonus. So the audience likes to take the feedback because they get that valuable thing that you can provide to them at the end. And then it turns it into a report that looks like this. So this was a talk that I gave, about a week, 2 weeks ago at this point. So I spoke to this group, and now automatically what it does is it gives me quantitative data. So now I can actually measure how valuable my talk was, how many people want to hear me speak again, how engaging, relevant, and inspiring it is. So now I actually have data on how well I did. I can now take that data, click this button here, download this, and I can start posting it online, social media, on my website to talk about measurable results that my
Mhm.
speaking engagements are getting, which most speakers will agree, yeah, data, measure data, but no one actually does it. So our tool measures that data for you. We then get all of these testimonials for you here. So these are what audience members are saying about my talk. Like this person said, Arel made me think about how I approach different situations I'm presented with on a daily basis. It's helpful to be aware of why others around me may act or react the way, decide that it's a great help to know that I can try to understand them and help them understand based on what stages we're looking at things at. This was a fantastic keynote. Great. I could grab that. I can then download that as an image as well, and I can post that as a testimonial on my website. I can post it on my social media. And then what our tool does is we analyze everything that these people said about you, right? And you can see, like, you got a whole bunch of things that people say, and we turn that into a summary right here. The reason why this summary is so cool is that this summarizes exactly what my audience got out of my talk and then the outcomes that I achieved with my message. And the reason why that is so valuable is for multiple reasons. The first reason it's valuable is that sometimes as speakers, we don't actually know how to talk about what we do. So when people
Mhm.
say, "What do you talk about?" we'll freeze up a little bit. What outcomes do you create? It's just trust me, it's really good, man. Just trust me, you're gonna love it. But now I can start hearing exactly what my audience is saying, that they understand the different thinking stages that helps teams align better and can change organizations on day one. Practical collaboration strategies, making moving groups along easier when facing daunting tasks. I can start actually knowing what language to use from my audience that I know I can deliver on my presentation descriptions, on my websites, and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, The other thing that this report does is when someone's giving the survey, they can answer if they're interested in booking me. So we actually will pull out, I'll show you what the leads look like. So in the lead section, we have three categories of leads. We've got your booking leads. So these are people who said they specifically want to book you. These are
Wow.
your referral leads. These are people who said, I will refer you to someone who could potentially book you. And then we just have your email opt-ins, which are people who said, please add me to your email list so you can build up that newsletter and those
Mm,
followings.
I
But
love
here's
that. Oh
if
my
you,
God. That's gold. If you just
yeah.
only did that, that's gold right there. Okay, go on.
Just think about this, Pam, and you can appreciate this. How many speakers speak in front of people and then they leave? It's like you could have taken, 80% of that audience onto your newsletter. And then
Yeah.
eventually, when you've got a Kickstarter and you need to fund that Kickstarter, you can send an email out to your list and they can go, oh my gosh, we love your work. Happy to do
Yes.
so. Happy to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's take a look at, let's just grab this one. So I spoke to a bunch of professionals, and this person is the director of workforce development. And she goes, hey, please reach out about a leadership conference that. So now I can reach out and saying, hey, I know that this particular institution is booking a leadership conference. Great. I can reach out to them about that. I can reach out to this person and they say, hey, maybe you could do a session on our campus. Wonderful. I could do a session on their campus. We'll find out more. But here's where it gets interesting. Let's go down to some of these, right? So these were events that I spoke at for the New York State School Board Association. So they go, hey, we'd love for you to do a workshop style for our 52 staff. So what happens is they're telling me exactly how they want me to work with them. You're a perfect fit for our education summit and our expo. So now when I'm reaching out to these people, I'm calling this person up and I'm simply saying, hey, thanks for attending my session. You mentioned that I would be a good fit for your education summit and expo. Would love to have a conversation about it. Let's schedule a meeting. So it's not like could they, would they, should they? I know exactly how they want to work with me. And if I go to my referrals, it's the same thing. Anyone that has this hot lead here,
Mhm.
this person will say, oh, I'd love to introduce you to do a division professional development. So great, they're an associate dean. They might not be able to book me directly, but they can connect me. So now
Yeah.
I just have to do my follow up, but I know exactly how to follow up with people because they told me in their survey. And what's really cool about this is that in the survey, if they, and I'll show you real quick what it looks like. Let's do this one. So when they're giving me their feedback,
Mhm.
so we have some like quick questions, but this is the part that I really like the way we built this. So we asked this question: do you book paid speakers? Now, if they say no, they just go to the next question. However, oh, excuse me, no, but they can. If they say no, we jump to the next question. But if they say no, but I can introduce you to someone, we say, well, tell me more about how you can introduce me to that person. If they
Mm,
say yes, we're like, cool. Would you like to book Arel for a speaking engagement? Yes, I'd be interested. No, I'm not interested. Yes, you're interested. Great. Tell me more about that speaking engagement. So, what's
mhm.
happening is that I'm only answering questions that actually are relevant to me with our survey. So, if I can't book you, I'm not getting any speaking, booking relating questions. If I can't refer you, I'm not getting any questions. And if I'm just someone who can give you feedback, I just give you feedback and I get my goal. So all you have to do is put this slide up at the end of your talk, say thank you so much for your feedback. I'd love for you to get some more information, and then this will go. So this is
I
what we've
love
been
that.
doing for like the last 3 years. I want to pause for a moment and answer any questions. I do want to show you what we are doing now, which I'm like really, really, really excited
I
about.
know, I know.
Pause there.
So real quick, what is the main thing that would make people want the gift that you give them that they would want the most, or you find that people really want the most from the giveaway for them to opt in?
Yeah, so there's two categories of bonuses that are highest value. So bonus number one falls into the category of it's a recap of what you just taught them.
Oh,
The
yeah.
easiest things to do for a recap is give away a copy of your slide deck
Okay.
or give away a summary of your talk, like a one-page summary of like the key ideas, key quotes.
Love it.
Um, because what I will tell people, and this is what I found gets about 80% of every audience that I speak to giving me feedback. Earlier in my presentation, I say, hey, if you like to take notes, this is a good place to start because I'm about to go into the best part of my presentation. However, if you're like me and you don't like to take notes and you just like to focus, you don't have to take any notes at all. I'm going to give you a copy of everything that we talked about here at the end of the presentation
Yes.
so you can be fully locked in.
Hmm.
So what that does is that causes people to actually put their pens down. Now, if I do my job and I say things that are interesting to them, they're going to be like, damn it, I wish I wrote that down. Or damn it, I wish I took a picture, but I didn't. But then when I tee this up, I go, hey, do you remember that I said I'd give access to everything? Well, here's how you get it. Take out your phone, scan this QR code, let me know what you thought about the presentation. And as a thank you, I'm going to give you a copy of my slide deck. So you'll have everything we talked about. I'll give you a 1-page summary of everything we talked about. So the
Love it.
first thing is a review.
Hmm.
Second category is what next steps should I take from here? Right. So let's say, for example, I'm doing a talk on leadership. I might then say, hey, we didn't have enough time to go over what to do in these scenarios, but don't worry. I put together an ebook that shows you exactly what questions to ask when you're in uncomfortable situations. So if you'd like to know the exact phrases, the exact things you need to say to take what we taught today and put it into action, I'm going to give you that PDF as a thank you for giving me your feedback. So
I
if it's
love
something
that.
that I go, oh, I want that next thing,
Yeah.
then those two things work every single time.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to know because we want to make sure that you're getting the feedback, and you said 80% of the people will do it. They'll stick around and they'll do it because they want that
100%.
stuff. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. I
Yeah, yeah.
love it.
And
I
and
love it.
I've almost exclusively given people either a summary or a copy of my slide deck. Um, the reason why I love the slide deck, I know a lot of speakers are very particular about their slides. They're like, "Ooh, I'm not going to give away my slides." I'm not that way because I'm like, I can give you my slides, but they don't mean anything without the presentation. They're just like
Exactly.
images and like quotes. So like you could take it. What are you going to do with it? Nothing. Like, but it has high perceived value. So
Mm,
by turning my slides into a PDF, I don't have to do any extra work
mhm.
and I create high value for my audience. So I just give them away very freely and it's never hurt me in any way.
Yeah. And so your system basically you can upload the PDF and your system will take over and do everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
all you have to do as a speaker is you go in, you create your first code, which is your survey code. You can change the questions or keep the questions that we have for you. What's up, Dr. Walker? Um, you could keep all of it the same. So all you have to do, like, let's say you want to get started with Talkadot. All you have to do is you create an account. You go into your home. You go to codes, and then you create new code.
Hmm.
And then I recommend going to advanced mode at first. So you just name it whatever you want. So, let's say I was doing something on speaking and selling and shining, for example, right?
Hmm.
I can
Hmm.
just create that code and then it'll just walk you through our survey builder. So if you want to, change this question depending upon your account, you can. If you want to add a question, you can. But we have a pre-built survey. So you don't have to
Okay.
worry about what questions to ask. It's already here for you. If you want to
Good.
hide a question because you don't like it for any reason, if you want to change a question, but you just do this once. You just go through building out this survey. And then when you get to this part here, you can either upload your PDF directly here.
Hmm.
If you've got like a Dropbox link or a link on your website, you can just click here and paste that in. Or if you don't want to give anything away, which we don't recommend, but you can also do that, you can just click that third option. You can put in your calendar link so people can book a meeting with you if they're a lead. You can put in your social media. And
Hmm.
then when you're done, the slide gets created. You download this slide here and then you just throw it into the end of your presentation deck. And at the end, you say, hey, please scan this QR code. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you thought about the presentation. As a thank you, you'll get access to a copy of my slide deck. I encourage you to let them actually get 2 minutes to fill it out and then go into your closing. So some people like to do talk it out at the very, very, very end, like they finished everything and they're about to walk off stage. You can do that, but I find you'll get 60 to 80% almost guaranteed if right before you go into your closing, you open up the slide, say fill it out, wait for 2 minutes, and then just tell the audience take about 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, just go, if you're still filling it out, please continue. But I want to leave you with one final thought. Go into your
Okay.
close, and you'll get about 80% of the audience, 60 to 80% on average, to come with you on the ride.
I love it. So this works virtual or in person. So,
Virtual and in person. Yeah, that's right.
mhm. A quick question, if you did not have a slide deck when you were doing your presentation, you can still put this up towards the end.
Yeah, so there's a lot of options you can do. So option one, and it all depends on what is your comfortable thing. If you've got printouts, some people do printouts. You can just put your QR code or your link on your printout.
Hmm,
So everybody gets a link too. Let me just. This is good for virtual. So after you create your code, you can just go to actions and go to copy code link right here,
mhm.
and then you can just paste that code into the chat, like.
Yeah,
And paste in the chat, and then people can click on it and take it. So you can print it on a piece of paper. You can put it into the chat if it's virtual. You can also call it out, like talk.ac/Arel, and say, hey,
okay,
everyone, I want you to take out your phones, go to talk.ac/Arel, and then put in the code speak, sell, shine, and then it'll give you a feedback so you can call it out. Also, if you don't have slides, literally just have this one slide and then bring that up, right?
that's
Like, so
it.
you don't have to build a slide deck and throw it in if you don't use one. You can literally just almost every event space will have some form of a projector and a screen. So you can just add it to that. Or if there's a whiteboard or a flip chart, you can just write talk.ac/Maxine or whatever your talk handle is, and then write the code underneath it, and then just tell people to go to that. So you have multiple options depending upon how you deliver.
Okay, I love it. Okay, I love it.
Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing now, what I'm really,
Okay,
really
all right.
excited about. So this is all new, but it's going faster than anything that we've ever done before. It's growing at a pace that is exciting. It's outpacing our current ability to service it, but it's
Wow.
very, very good thing.
Okay,
So what we're doing now, let me share my screen again,
okay.
is you can now, as a Talkadout user, create a public profile. So
Mm,
if you click here and hit public profile, this has everything on you in one place. Think of this as like your ultimate speaker one pager, and it serves two functions. Okay, so function number one is that on this, I can upload videos of myself speaking. So, you all have videos. I can put pictures of me doing my thing and short videos here. We take all of your data and we put it into one form for you here. So now, I've got 7,418 people who've given me feedback, how many people want to see me again, and then I have client feedback. We then analyze what you speak on and we articulate what you speak on. You can add any awards. So if you're like a Hall of Fame basketball player, you can put that you're in the Hall of Fame. We then analyze all, in this case, 7,418 pieces of feedback. So all of your data. And then we automatically generate a summary of what audiences say about you. You can also get
mm,
client feedback, and we analyze what clients say about you. We put the all of your audience members total what they're saying, and we create the top 3 to 5 outcomes that you achieve here. We give your quantitative data, your bio. So this is where you can paste in who you are and what you've done. Then you can give your actual talks. So these are the actual specific talks that I give with video for each one of those talks. So people can actually see what I do if they want to dive deeper. People love long form video when they're making their, so they use short form video like a demo to
hmm.
see if you like pass the vibe check. And
Right.
then when they have like 3 speakers, many of them like, ooh, I might want to go deeper. So they like to see you actually do your thing in an uncut way. So you
Mhm.
can do that here. We've got testimonials, and each one of these we automatically pull these testimonials for you. They connect to an individual report that you've given, and then you can actually have all of your past events listed here. And the reason why that's so important is because organizations like to get a sense of like, have you spoken to people like us? Do you
Yeah.
know like us? So they can go here, and then I can click on here and see what the Washington side of CPAs said about my particular talk. And then you can add frequently asked questions, links to your social media, and then if you had any articles or blog posts or anything. So this one page literally will serve up everything that event planner has told us. And we did a lot of market research. So we've created these pages to really have everything from your data to your videos to your talks to your bios, all of it in one place. And
Mhm.
you can do two things with this. The first thing is you can now start putting this in your email signatures on your websites
Yep.
and start connecting people. If you don't have a website yet that you love, right? And a lot of us are building that website we love. This very much has everything that you would want to put on a website. So in the same way, back in like the early 2000s, people were like, "Oh, go to my website, go to my MySpace page." We want people to go to your website and go to
No,
your
you didn't say
profile.
MySpace.
You remember MySpace? You remember? You know.
Yeah.
Now, what we're really excited about, so this is kind of like all of this was context to build up to this thing here, and then I'll
Mhm.
pause for questions, is on our website, what we're now doing is building relationships with event planners and going to event planners so that they can actually book a speaker on our site. So they can go into our site and tell us exactly what they're looking for. Where their event's going to be held, what their budget is, who their audience is, what their outcomes are. And what we do is we take all of this data on the back end and
Mhm.
we query it and match it against our data of our speakers to provide them with a short list of speakers that look like this. So then we'll provide them with three options that our data says best matches what they're looking for and gives them an apples to apples comparison so they can say, hey, you're looking for a speaker. These are three speakers that matched you really well. Would you like to book one of these speakers? And they can either be interested and or not interested. If they're not interested, we can provide more options. If they are interested, and then you can actually get booked straight through our platform. And then what we do is if we bring a deal to you and it's successful, we'll take 20% of that because we had a deal come in and that we brought to you.
Mhm.
And
And
you
that's
literally just speak and get data, and then we use your data to get you booked for speaking engagements.
that is so good. And that's actually below. Most speakers bureaus take 25 up to
25 to
30.
30% is the typical
Yeah.
bureau take. Yeah.
So that is so good. That is that's game changing. So you got the
Yeah.
match thing going on. You got the match
Yeah.
that was
So,
not there 3 years ago.
no,
That
we didn't have any of this 3 years ago. We've been building consistently. One of the things that we're constantly doing is we're trying to create an ecosystem that in an ideal world, you as a speaker will go and speak. You create your profile once, you set up your account once, you just go and use it. And the data automatically gets updated. New events come in. When there's a match, you'll get matched. You'll get leads when you speak, so you can follow up with those leads. So you can
Mhm.
active what I call hunting and farming. So when you get leads, you can hunt and go after them. And then when deals come in, the more you build and use our tool, the more that's farming, like cultivating the soil, that we can present opportunities to you. So we're doing a lot to make your lives. So all you have to do is use Talkadot, and we've got a free version of our tool. We've got a paid version of our tool. I'll put a link in the chat for any of you who don't have Talkadot.
I
I,
put my link in there because that's the one that I sent everybody.
yeah,
Is it the
that's the
same
link you
one?
said.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
get it. There's no reason to not get it. Like I said, there's a free version of our tool. So if you're like, oh, I'm not ready to pay, that's fine. Don't use the free version when you're ready to pay. We just actually launched an introductory tier. So we got three tiers now. So before we
Okay.
only had Pro and Elite. So Pro was
Right.
$500 a year. Elite was $1,000 a year. So we just released our Essentials plan, which is
Oh.
$100 a year. So it's a lot more palatable for a lot of people who are just getting started or like, I don't know if I trust you yet, Shamar Less, Shamar Moore's younger brother who's not as successful as Shamar Moore, Shamar Less, right? So
You
like
just gotta
if
look like him.
yeah, I get that a lot. There's worse people to look like. This is it.
Right, 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 right.
But yeah, but I highly recommend everyone click on that link, and that's Pam's link, so you'll be able, to get supported by Pam, supported by us. We have a whole team to help support.
Mhm.
But yeah, we
And
we we highly recommend it.
one quick question about the CRM portion. Could
Mhm.
you the customer relationship management or the email service part of that, can
Mhm.
you connect it to something else, or is it always going to live in your
Oh
database?
yeah, you can connect our tool to whatever you want. So you have a couple of ways to connect. So way number one, if you go to leads
Mhm.
and then you go to integrations.
Oh,
If you have Zapier, are you familiar with Zapier? So
yeah.
Zap is a tool that allows you to connect to whatever you want to connect to. So you want to connect to your Pipedrive or to your HubSpot or to your Salesforce. So you can connect us automatically. We have a direct connection with SpeakerFlow because they're one of our partners, so you can connect to them. Or if you wanted to, you can just go to each one of your talks and then click here and then download your leads as a
Okay,
CSV file, and then you can
okay,
upload it to wherever you want to upload it.
okay. They could upload it to MailChimp or Aweber or ActiveCampaign or Keep or
100%.
anything like that. Okay,
Yeah.
I
So if you want
I
to automate it, you can automate it. If you don't mind like 10 seconds to just download and upload, you can do that and move it to wherever you need to move it and handle it there.
I love it. I think Dr. Maxine, you had a question?
Yes.
I do. So I am re-entering into the speaker realm.
Mhm,
So I've been out for 15 years. I'm re-entering.
mhm.
So I don't have any current like testimonials or places that I have spoken at. They're all going to be 15-year, at least the people, companies I've spoken for before, conferences, going to be like 15 years old. So how would you do either a novice or a person like myself who's
Yeah.
re-entering into this arena?
All right. So let's start with the basics. Who in an ideal world would you want to be speaking to and about what?
Okay.
You know that. You know that.
So so
You do.
in an ideal world, I would be speaking to Black social workers, Asala, Black engineers, anything, because my brand is Griot Speaks, which empowers, it preserves culture, all of that. So it's all centered around genius in Black culture, basically.
Yeah, great. So the first thing that I would do for you, and this is applicable to anyone. So I know I want to speak to this particular group. Now, this is my number one speaking booking strategy. I literally have been doing this for 19 years. It is all that I do to get new business. It's so simple and it works really well. So the first thing that I do is I want to find the association that these people are a part of, right? So you're looking at the society like NESB, the Society of Black Engineers. You're looking at the National Coalition of Black Meeting Planners. Have you heard of that organization before?
Mm.
So the National Coalition of Black Meeting Planners. I'm looking for they're called, oh, what are they called? NGOs, not NGOs.
ERGs.
ERGs, thank you. The
Mm-hmm.
ERGs,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm looking for any group that has my members, the people I want to target, and the association for them. Now, every single association has an annual conference. Every single one. Every single association has different learning opportunities throughout the year, whether they're smaller events or webinars or any of those things. And my whole job is to go to those associations and organizations and say, hey, I would love to come speak to your group and I don't want to charge you anything. I'm not looking to get paid. I'm looking to give back and help and I would love to set up the opportunity. Now either at that point they're going to say fill out our request for presenters, fill out our form or they're going to be like tell us more about what you're looking for. And my goal is to just reach out to those associations and get someone to say yes. They do not have to pay me. I am uninterested in getting paid. If they want to pay me, it's gravy. That's all gravy. Because what I want is for them to put me either in a workshop or ideally on the main stage as the keynote speaker to speak in front of the group of people who have the ability to hire me and to speak, right? That's what I want to do. So I'll go to, so for example, right now, like the group that I just spoke at, literally like last week was called the ESSAE, which stands for Empire State, which is New York. So it's the New York State Society of Association Executives, right? They are an association for association executives. So I reach out to their executive team, again, either via just a straight direct email to them or filling out the request for a presenter form on their website and say, I would love to present on this topic. Here's the outcomes that I'll achieve. Let me know if I could do it. If I do a little more research, I'll know exactly what their annual conference date is. And I said, I'd like to speak for your June 5th conference. Here's why I believe my message ties in. And again, I'm either emailing or filling out a form, right? So step one is who are all the groups what are all the associations that my target audience is a member of? I'm then reaching out to them, and many of them will say no, many of them will ignore you, but you only need 4 per year to say yes. If you do one a quarter, you will fill your calendar. I promise you. Right. So every year I do 4 what I call business development talks. If I get paid $100 or $1,000, that's wonderful. Mostly it's for free. But the people in the audience are all people that I believe can book me to speak. You can do this for the ASAE network, American Society of Association Executives. You can do this for the SHRM network, Society of Human Resource Managers. You can do this for the MPI network, Meeting Planners International. So there's all of these associations and networks that we can then reach out to and speak for low bono or pro bono, right? And when I'm at those events and I get those 3 to 4 to 5 yeses per year, I'm going to speak and do a really, really good job. And then I'm going to throw out my talk out. When I throw out my talk out, I'm going to get testimonials. I'm
Yep.
going to get that. I'm going to get those leads. And then my job is to follow up until they say yes, no, or I find out that they're dead. Those are my 3 follow-up options. Okay. A lot of people send one email and go, man, nobody reached out to me, man. I don't know what's going on. People don't like me. I'm like, it's a timing thing. Like you could reach out to me, but I'm not willing to book you because I'm not ready right now. But if you consistently at some point, it's a terrible example, but I like to give it because people know, like there's a couple that that the only reason they're a couple is because the dude kept asking the woman out for years and then she finally said yes. And now they're married and it's been like 15, 20 years and they still together because he was persistent. That persistency, it works. And that's why I'm a big fan of newsletters, by the way. If you don't have a newsletter, it just provides content, but it keeps you top of the mind so that when you do reach out for an ask, they know you. But again, to summarize, if I was brand new, I would say, who is the associations my members are part of? Come up with 10 to 15 of those associations, reach out to those associations and offer my speaking services at no cost. Speak there, use Talkadot, get testimonials, and get leads. Now, getting those first people to say yes is the hardest thing to do for sure. So I usually like to start locally. If I was starting from zero, I would go to my chamber of commerce. I would go to my local, whatever it might be, because local likes to support local. Like local will like they will show up for you, and then
Stephanie
that just
says
gets the
it.
ball
She
moving.
said, I just love this. Right. Okay. Yeah. The thing too, I put in the chat, the ASAE, so that it's a association, American Society of Association Executives. That's what it is. And they have all the associations of the associations. So that's what Arel was talking about.
Yeah, they're really, really great, especially if you're not 100% sure who you're going after just yet. I like to cast a wide net and associations. There's associations of concrete pourers, association of nurse
It is.
practitioners, association of fill in the blank. And if they resonate with you, you might start going, oh, like who knew
Those
manufacturers really like me?
find your people. And you can also look on LinkedIn for the different groups as well. So
Absolutely.
there's a group on LinkedIn. I saw today, it was like 114,000. It was Black Executives Network or something like that. And then just, if you are really niche into the African American, you can look for the Black social workers, all those groups. And then in those groups, you can find the people. So you
Yeah, and
do
just
have something, you're not starting from zero because you have photos, you have video, you have, a
yeah,
one sheet, you
I mean,
have
and look at
the
this.
media.
I
Mhm.
typed in associations for Black professionals, and I
Wow.
mean, like,
Black
I
MBA, yep.
yeah, like Black cardiologists, Black psychologists, like, so I
Black
have
Cultural, Black Cultural Association. Yeah.
yeah, there's
Mhm.
so many of these organizations that exist. It's just a matter of saying, all right, let me go out. And it's okay if you speak and you get zero. Like, that's okay. Like, now I know, like, the psychologists are not my people, but the engineers might be. Or the
Mm,
engineers are not my people, but you know what? The cardiologists are. Like, you'll never know who resonates with you until you're just in front of them.
that's true. I saw Dr. David, he had his hand up. Did that help, Dr. Maxine?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Walker,
Hello, sir. How are you?
good to see you, brother, as always.
Good. Next time you come down to Orlando, I found a place called Sal's Pizzeria, New
Okay.
York style pizza.
I'm gonna go to Florida to get New York pizza. Come on, man.
I'm just saying,
What am I gonna do that for?
if you're ever in Orlando and you're looking for some pizza, I got the spot. That's all. It's
Hey,
New York
listen,
style
and the
pizza.
next time we're there, I want to talk about how you can do the gather step correctly in the MBA versus college and high school, because I know
Oh,
you know about that. All right. So
absolutely, absolutely. So here's my question. You talked about that match on Talkadot.
Yeah.
I haven't been on in a little bit, and so does the match notify us, or are we aware of the match, and how could we find it on Talkadot?
Yeah, so when you get matched, we will do everything to get your attention to let you know that you're matched, right? So
Okay.
we're gonna email you, we're gonna call you, I'm gonna LinkedIn message you. You should not be like, oh, word, I
Right.
didn't know. And we're adding more like in-app. We're gonna be launching some in-app notifications as well when you get matched. So our goal, again, we're building up deal flow. We're doing strategic partnerships with associations like Meeting Planner International, destination management companies, DMCs, AMCs, association management companies. So these are all people that we're partnering with to say, you need to find speakers. We've got almost 12,000 speakers. We can help find the right person. Now, what helps you match is the more, if you have a full profile, you're going to match. If you've got more data, it's going to be easier to match. So, the more you fill out your profile with pictures, videos, descriptions, location, because sometimes, for example, someone will say, like, if it's been a while since you went to your account, I would go to your profile and just make sure there's no gray places. Because if there's some gray areas, that means it's unfilled. So the more you fill out, the easier it is for us to match you.
All right.
That's for
Thank you, sir.
anything, for everyone's profile, period, of any profile that you're a part of. I don't care if it's a profile ready, say, go speak, never leave gray areas. What Arel just said, don't leave anything blank. Put in a website, put in your speaker reel, put in your social media handles, put in testimonials, put in a page to your bio, put in press links. It's almost like when you're filling out a application for a grant or filling out a scholarship. The more they ask for the requirement, but people who win are typically the people who do more. And so we're about that. We're about the people who do more. That's what this group is. They're about the people who do more. So you're going to get booked more because you're doing more. You're showing up. You're listening to. They listened to Ron's story about 3 weeks ago, and now it's a different type of thing. Ron's is different. It's more outbound, but this one you can see is more inbound based on the data that you're providing it. You're feeding the beast, and the beast is then bringing in your business.
We kind of jokingly say we're like if Trustpilot, a dating app, and Airbnb had a baby for speakers.
Oh my God.
That would be what we do. Yeah.
I do like Trustpilot, but I've never been on a dating app because I've been married 30 years. So this was before the dating app. So I don't even know that world.
Stay married. Yeah. Cool. More questions. Love to help support. Any how abouts, yeah, buts. I'm in, one of the things I like to say about questions too is sometimes when you ask a very, very specific question, it feels selfish because you're like, oh, it's not going to help anyone but me. Those are usually the best questions. They usually help the most people.
I do have a question.
Please.
What is the cost associated with this?
So let me pull up your options here so you can see them in real time.
Because I think it's 3 tiers. You used to only have 2.
Yeah, we used to have 2. Now we have 3. So we've got our essentials, which is $149 a year, but if you were referred, it's $96 per year. So that's our newest plan that we just launched. We've got our pro plan, which is where most people start at, which is $588 per year. But if you're referred by Pam and you have Pam's link, it's $499 per year. And then our elite, which is $1,188 per year. But if you have the referral, it's just $999. So and then we also have a free version of it that you can start with as well. They all have different,
tools,
bells and whistles and things, but this is our price point. And I say this very, very proudly. We are the least expensive tool on the marketplace, period. There's I was just at the National Speakers Association. I went to every single booth and I was like, we are literally the least expensive because really where our play is on the matching side. We're going to succeed when we're matching people with speaking engagements, but we're not going to get people matched unless we have data. And we're not going to get people if they're not invested at least a little bit into using our tool. So really the cost for our tool is more just to get people invested in using it. And where we win is on that matching side. And again, you don't pay anything unless we successfully match you, then we take a percentage of the fee. So you don't have to pay us anything out of your pocket. We take a percentage of it when it comes in. So it's a win-win for everyone. We just, like anything, when people pay, they pay attention. This is how it is.
Right. True. Thank
The
you.
You're welcome.
thing I wanted to say about speakers bureaus is if, like, let's just say with Arel, it's like, you know what, Arel, I just want to just go to speakers bureaus and just get listed. We know that speakers bureaus work on commission, and they really are going to probably push their top 10% of their speakers, right? The ones
Yeah.
that get charged $10,000 and above. So they're not really going to push you if you're just starting out. You can get listed, but they're not going to push you. Now, you may feel like, oh, this is so glamorous, such and such is representing me in the speakers bureau, but they're not doing anything for you. It's like they are not going to shop you. They're not going to sell you because not you're not Michelle Obama or you're not Kamala Harris, because they want to
Yeah.
book those people or Willie Jolly because they get more money. So I tell us it's kind of like a real estate agent. They could sell $1 million house or they could sell $250,000 house. They want to really sell more $1 million houses, right? Because those are where they
And
make more of the money.
And the
So
reality too with bureaus that, if you talk to any bureau agent, they'll tell you if they book a brand new, it's scary to book a brand new speaker, because if you go out there and you suck, all of a sudden, premier, amazing executive speaker bureau looks like an idiot. So really the only time a bureau will book you is if there's an inbound request. If you're new with a bureau, if there's an inbound request for you, they'll happily book you, but they're really not going to shop you because it's unproven. They don't know, are you going to show up? Are you going to deliver? But they're tried and true, Michelle Obama. Yeah, they're going to book that person 24/7 because why not? So, there's a misnomer that, oh, if I get represented or listed, this will solve all of my problems. And there's thousands of speakers that can tell you they're listed on many, many websites and it just sits there, you know.
mhm. The last link, Esther, I just put in there, you'll see the link, and if you click on it, that's the one that you can go in and see.
Yep.
Arel was she was in the second cohort, so you probably saw him, but this part that he's doing is brand new. He started it really to give the testimonials and make it easy to collect the leads and that sort of thing. But now it's a whole nother phase. It's a
Yeah.
whole
So you can do all the things we used to do. So so it's always that I use the term hunting and farming a lot when I talk about it. So when you go out and you're showing your Talkabout QR code, you're getting your leads, you can now use your data for hunting. Like, look at the feedback that I got. Like one of the things I love to do is called land and expand. So for example, I spoke at the New York State Society of Association Executives. I'm going to take my data report and go to the Pennsylvania Society of Association Executives, the Ohio Society of Association Executives, and say, I spoke at the New York one. Here's the results that I got. I'd love to bring that to you. So that's like a hunting activity. If I get leads in, I'm calling those leads, I'm emailing those leads, I'm going after them. That's hunting. Farming is I'm just collecting data. I'm collecting data. I'm collecting data. I'm collecting testimonials. I'm collecting quantitative data, qualitative data. So that when someone comes in and says, we're looking for someone who can speak to Black engineers about how to succeed in this world, then our data will go, oh, based on all of this feedback, the organizations she's spoken to, what people have said about her, Maxine Bryant is a good fit. And then we'll match you to that. And that's more of a farming activity. So the more you use the data, so a lot of people say, like, oh, I don't care about data, I just care about leads. What we really do believe, what we're betting our house on, is that the data, especially because of AI, and that's what has unlocked our ability to do the matching, is because we have what's called a first, what is it called? I forget the phrase, but basically because we have a unique set of data, which is uniquely housed on Talkadot, we can search it with an AI that we are building in house to match more accurately than if you just went against the internet, which is like way too big. So
right.
like farm and hunt. Use Talkadot every time you talk.
Yes, yes. And you all have laid down the seeds because you got the information. So one of the things, you're like a step ahead of everybody, right? You have the assets, you have the PR, now you have the tools. If you use the tools that I'm providing for you that you have that other speakers don't have, especially ones starting out, you will be so much farther ahead. But I want to emphasize that the world is so busy and we can post all day on social media, but please put your head in the game on the AI tools that work for speakers. One is Speaker Hub and Talk a Dot. Those are the
Absolutely.
two. And
Yeah.
you have your other things. And then as we move forward, you got the books and you got the media darling, but you've got all the tools. So don't get so distracted, how do I say, out in the world. And when you join, Arel also has a circle.
Mhm.
So talk about your circle as well.
Yeah,
Because
so we have a community that
uh-huh,
we're hosting on Circle. It's a really great platform. So on it, you can post questions. We do things called AMAs. So I jump on live on Zoom so people can jump on and ask me any question that they have about speaking, about our tool, about anything that's like anything that could roadblock you. We've got the community for that. We also do what's called Talk About Town Halls, where we're like, these are our new features. We just
yeah,
released our new features, come use them and check them out. So for example, one of the features we just released is an identity feature. So if you go into your settings, you can identify if you are a female, a person of color, a veteran, someone with disabilities, because we're starting to get requests that come in that are asking for those things. So we can now like
ah,
identify those people and,
yeah,
bring them to the forefront. We also bring in experts as well. So, we just did a training on demo videos, like what the hero's journey demo video. What are the blocks? In what order should your demo video be? Based on this really, really smart person. So, our goal is to basically be a supplement to everything that you're doing, because the more you succeed, the more Pam succeeds. The more you succeed, the more Talk It Out succeeds. So, think of us as an extended part of your network to help you do well. Pam's giving you all the game. Just do what she says. Like sometimes people in Pam's role, like I have such empathy because I used to coach people, and sometimes I just be like, just do the stuff I'm telling you to do. Stop going, yeah, but I want to do it my way. It's like, why? Why? Just do it. It works. This
yeah.
like,
That is
just do
it.
it. Just do it.
That is so true because a lot of times it's a resistance and we've got to be open to you got to be open to change. And just like you're always improving Talkadot, the same thing with having a community. We're always introducing new things and making things better because I want you all to win.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I wouldn't bring you in front of Rail if I didn't think this was a tool that you did not need. This is that we're sitting up here, we're over an hour now. We wouldn't be sitting up here if I didn't think like, no, this is trust me, this is a tool that you need that is going to be a game changer. And like he said, if you go to NSA, like National Speakers Association, you go around to all the vendor booths, they are charging thousands and thousands of dollars. The holy grail that people always want to seem to reach after is like, oh, I want to do a TEDx talk and that sort of thing. You don't need to do a TEDx talk. A TEDx talk is an entry point for you to get on other stages. But he's saying he's matching you. The more you speak, the more you get matched, and you won't even have to do that stage. You just have to just participate in this and get the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
and quit
So the
trying to,
more, yeah, and
yeah,
I just want to emphasize that, especially when you're re-entering the game, or if you're somewhat newer to the game, just reach out to every local group. Period. Every chamber of commerce, every Kiwanis club, every local manufacturer association, like if you're not like this is I feel like it's underutilized research, but your chamber of commerce literally for 200-300 bucks a year, whatever they charge, which is not a lot for their entry level, their whole job is to help businesses succeed. So when you join, you say, look, I want to do presentations, let me do one for you. I want to like, what are your events that I like? They will put you on the stage. They have a vested interest in connecting their members. And then you can start building a local presence. And then with that local presence, you can then, follow Pam's playbook and get some media to come cover, local media. And then you can start saying featured in this news and featured in that thing. And then you use that to dovetail to regional events and statewide events. So
mhm,
there's, it's just being okay with, and Ron Story is a perfect person because he's really smart with his outreach and, outreach and referrals and inbound, like that's the game. And then at a certain point, a flywheel starts going. But like one of the secrets that, I'll say this and then I'll pause, is that I think people think there's this magical moment where you're so popular, you just stop and you don't have to do anything. And then all this business just shows up day after day. And I'm like, I just don't know anyone that does that. Like everyone is, it's like riding a bicycle. You got to pedal. You can let go of the pedals and coast for a while, but at some point you gotta keep cranking those pedals again.
Mhm.
So just do the
There's
work
no
that
magic
works.
wand. I have one, but this is a toy.
There's no magic wand. There's no magic wand.
You gotta do the things. Okay. So you gotta do the things. And the books that I mailed you guys, read them. They're Joanne's book as well about being a media doctor. Read them. They are really good tools. I did not send those out just so they could be bookends. Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Awesome.
good, good, good.
Well,
So
Pam,
yeah,
thank you. Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. Such a
Thank
pleasure. Such a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. We have the tools and we're going to use it. 2026 is the year to get this going now.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
And if anyone has any questions, please just reach out to Pam, talk to her. If you want to reach out to me, I'm the only Arel Moodie in the world. Like it's really easy to find me. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on all of those. So it's very,
What's your
very easy to
favorite
find me.
one? I know
Oh,
it's not
LinkedIn.
MySpace. No, I know
LinkedIn
it's
for
not
sure.
MySpace no more. So
It's
LinkedIn.
not MySpace. It's AOL Instant Messenger. If you'll be my buddy, I will find you on AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh
No,
my
LinkedIn is by far my favorite social media now because I feel like it's the only social media where people aren't just yelling at each other for no reason. They're just
yeah,
like,
yeah,
having good conversations. So I like it.
yes. So one last question, Dr. Maxine.
It's
Yes.
not a question, it's a shameless plug. I did put in again my Kickstarter reel, that whole website. I'm trying to raise funds to get the game started. You all heard me talk about the game while we were in DC. So the Kickstarter campaign has begun and it ends on December the 6th. So I'm
Okay.
trying to get as much as I can to get this game off the
Because they only give you like 4 weeks or 2 weeks.
4 weeks.
They give you 4 weeks. Okay. All right. So
Mhm.
we'll
So
talk.
the
We'll
link
talk
is
about
there.
that.
I need my Speak, Sell, Shine comrades to come through for me.
Good. At the very least, you guys share it out. Okay. Share it out to your networks as well. Okay.
Okay.
Cool, cool. All
Awesome.
right. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna stop recording here.